Happy Halloween, everyone. This has now been 30 years since I last went trick-or-treating. I got in trouble at school that day. Mom gave me an option. Be grounded for a month, the entire month of November, or do not go out trick-or-treating. I chose being grounded for November. Since this was my last year, I really wanted to go out. I didn't get to go out when I was 13. That was supposed to be my final year, but a storm came out of nowhere, and I didn't want to go out there, so Mom said, okay, Scott, next year you can go out even though you're going to be 14. It didn't bother me. I actually went to house, telling everybody last year was supposed to be my final year, but now it's this year. I think they laughed at me saying that. I did that with every house that I went to. I just wanted to explain why I was still out when I was supposed to be when I was too old. I'm aware there are people that still kept going out. And for Halloween, I'm going to be talking about a game that I rented when we lived in that house that I did not finally beat until the mid-2010s. And that is the really hard to find Castlevania Dracula X for the Super Nintendo. Now, I first learned of that game through GamePro, and they did not really speak positive towards it. Fact is, they gave it a 2.5. I saw it at Blockbuster, I rented it. I only got to the third level. And yeah, I really was not exactly blown away by that game, but I did like the music. The music is very good. And the story is, Dracula has returned, kidnaps Annette and Maria, holds them in his castle to lure the new Belmont, Richter Belmont, into a trap. That's it. That's the story and plot for the game. Richter gets the legendary whip, and then heads on out. Stage 1 is the Burning City, and I really like this stage. The fire in the background, the music is so great. Now, this one ignores the whip upgrades. You don't have to get the enhancements. You automatically start out with it. You still get the dagger, the crucifix, the axe, the holy water, the time stopper. This one has a new feature. When you hit the, I believe it is the X button, or is it the Y button? I think it's the X. You will actually do a power thing with the weapons. If you just have the whip, he'll spin it and launch out a flame whip. Probably from Castlevania 2. The holy water, it rains. The crosses scatter out. The axes orbit around you and then go scatter out. And the daggers, he just throws a number of them. Time, I don't know what that does in the special thing. This one, however, this is the Castlevania game that, enemies in this are a lot different in design-wise. But they're still cool looking. Okay, I don't know why I suppose that in a negative way, but they actually look pretty cool. The skeletons are pretty cool. The bats still are cool looking. Still annoying though. Medusa heads, honestly, I like how they in Super Castlevania 4 a lot better, so this is a downgrade. They still have the same attack. This introduces more skeletons, like a skeleton-like dog that will come at you. And this chicken-like skeleton that flaps and has a long, stretchy neck that shoots his head out and throws out all these bones. You only encounter him 2 times in the entire game. The second stage and the final stage. The Bone Dragon's back, but he's only limited. 9 Armors are back. Mermen are back. Flying Skulls are back. Oh, goodness. Hope I'm not missing anything. But anyway, level 1 is the Burning City. This is, like I said, this is the coolest level in the game. You pretty much do the traditional go forward, hit the stuff, hit the candles or whatever, all that stuff to get the items. Keep moving forward. You do encounter some areas where you'll have to move up the steps and all that stuff. The final area in this place is a big old bull-like monsters coming towards you. Now, when you see the gaps that you have to jump, at first you're going to think that's impossible because it looks too far, but fortunately Richter can actually jump pretty far. And if you press the B button, which is the jump button, 2 times in a row, he'll actually do a backflip. That's kind of useful in some spots, not every spot, just some spots. Whenever you get the bull chases you, you'll see these two areas where they have the trap door, the platforms that flip when you land on them, so you gotta be quick. Once you get to the end, you don't have to fight him, even though you can't hit him. You just once he gets on that pit, he just collapses below it. You move forward a bit, you take on the first boss. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is a three-headed panther. It says it's Cerebus, but someone goofed and dubbed in panther roars. Oh, that sound effect, and the animation even looks more like a panther. It says it's Cerebus, but even Castlevania Wiki even says the design looks more feline. So yeah, the first boss is not Cerebus. It says it is, but it's a three-headed panther that has... It will simply lunge at you, or it will shoot a fireball in a diagonal downwards, and will create a flame wave. Every time you hit it, it always leaps back. Now, there is some food. Yeah, the turkey still is magically hidden in the area, in the blocks and all that stuff. You can get some before you fight it. Once you beat it, you enter level 2. This level brings back the vampire killer tune and probably to me the best time for this music. I mean, this one sounds the best. The first area is kind of annoying though, even though you hear that good tune. The mermen shoot up, you gotta hit them, and then you'll come on this collapsing bridge. Now, every time you make a long-distance jump, sometimes Richter will usually kneel down. You have to wait for him to stand back up. That will get annoying. You would keep moving forward, but you really would need the crucifix for this part because the merman, one will walk, one will jump. Throw the crucifix every time you see them, so that way it'll guarantee you'll get both of them. Keep moving forward. The bridge will collapse. If it falls off, you can still jump off and keep moving, but you have to time it just right. Once you get to the end, the drawbridge will open up and Richter will automatically jump in and walk in. You move in, you deal with more enemies, and you pretty much have to move upwards more on this level. The boss is a bat. That is, when you hit it, it turns into multiple bats. They usually go in a wave-like pattern, depending on where you hit them and how close or how far you are for that. Hit it, and then get away from it. So make sure you're never cornered. They always move out, because when it's multiple bats, that's when you have to hit it. Make sure it's a good distance away, then get away, and then start unloading it. Now, they will eventually go back to where you hit them, and just reform the giant bat. When you defeat it, it will explode into smaller bats, but only in a half circle downwards, like this. So make sure all you gotta do is avoid it. Third level is the level that I'm pretty sure is the one that made a lot of people get mad, because, okay, this is the level that introduced to me, the worst enemy in the game, the purple knight armors with the spears. When they do that, you gotta move away from them because they can get you at a distance. And I think they take about 6 hits with the whip. And what sucks is if you're above them, they can poke up, and if you're below them, they can jab down. So yeah, they are, to me, the worst enemies in the game. Now, this level does a remix of Bloody Tears, which to me is the worst version because it does this soft organ instead of that dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun, like in Super Castlevania 4. So this to me was a downgrade of that music. You head up a little bit more in this, and when you reach this area where there's all these platforms and steps, this is where the backflip comes in handy, but you have to watch out for spikes raising up and down. And the Medusa heads are also pretty bad in that spot as well. Now, there's one, and all those 2 skull things, pillar of, I forgot what they're called, but they're like the 2 skulls, and like this, they're back, but this time you have to defeat them one head at a time. This time they are stacked really high. The axe, there's this one spot, okay, there's this area where they have all these platforms and the gaps. You think you fall down and you're going to lose a life. That actually leads to another level, the altered level 4. But if you do make it across, you take on this headless knight. He's pretty cool. He has a big lance. He will do a jump jab. He'll slash it. He'll slash or jab it. I can't remember if he slash or jabs. He also will strike it down, seeing these ice spikes coming out. There's 4 platforms you can get on. And he'll also throw his head that will either hit you and slow you down, or he'll throw it up and it will cause all these rocks to fall. If you get underneath those 4 platforms, you can't get hit by that. Make sure you do not let him be get in the corner. My advice is when the battle starts, whenever he jumps over you, go underneath him immediately and get him on the other side. That's what I do. Mainly I use the whip on him, but I think the crucifix would probably be like the best weapon against him. Or the holy water, because it will get him below. Next, now if you, next level, excuse me, the fourth level, the correct fourth level, oh wait, before you fight him, there's a line of candles. The last one will give you a key. Grab that and hang on to it, because you're going to need it in the next level. Now in level 4, the true level 4, it's an underground stage. This will introduce the, I don't think the Mudmen appear here. I can't remember. I know they appear in the Ultra level 4. But, this will introduce those red skulls that fly around. And, oh yeah, I forgot about the eyeballs with the tentacles. Yeah, they're back as well. And, oh man. When you basically have to go through a lot of pits and all that stuff. Those traditional moving platforms that go like that in the loop. When you come across this locked door, that's when you need the key. Now make sure you don't die when you have the key. If you beat level 3, write the password down so that way you can just restart it with the key. Because if you die, you lose it. And also, this introduces the issue whenever you drop a weapon, whenever you collect a new weapon, you have an old one, it will come out, and you have an opportunity to get it back. Now, I understand they did that in the Rondo of Blood, but I'm just going to be talking about the Dracula, because I didn't know about Rondo of Blood at the time. I don't think I learned about that game until like the mid-2000s. And, oh man, you rescue Maria in this level. When you rescue her, she refills your energy. The boss is a Minotaur. He'll jump and scoop up rocks, breathe fire, and charge at you. And I think when I replayed it, he didn't get a chance to do this attack, mainly because I didn't Okay, this is where a problem is with this game. There's another locked door just before you see him. You still have the key when you rescue Maria. Go through that door to take you to an altered level 5, because that's the correct route that you have to go to rescue Annette. But, the Minotaur boss, yeah, he's actually, despite the fact that he shows up in the cutscene, you have to skip him in order to beat the game and get the best ending, which kind of bothers me. Mainly because I think he's a cool boss, and this is like the first time I saw a Minotaur in a Castlevania game, and I'm like, you have to skip this guy in order to get the correct ending? But yeah, I think when he charges and hits the wall, because I haven't played him in a while, because I always have to go through the correct course to get the best ending, because I don't want Maria or Annette to die. But I think he does get stuck in the wall, and he's leaving himself open for a little while, but I can't remember. And every time I watch the old boss fights, on those they never show them do that, because they always take this guy out. Okay, guy, yeah, he is pretty easy. Now, the correct path will take you to the werewolf boss. They will introduce a new enemy, giant knight armors that have the swords. And the one with the axes is still in there that throws it like that, but this time he'll throw it over, and this time he'll come running like this. You have to knock his shield out of his hand first, and then you can hit him, and then you destroy him. Oh yeah, that invincibility is bad too for that temporary one. And this time when you do it, if you touch enemies, they actually will die instead of you just going through them. And if you do it on a knight armor, he just collapses. But when it comes to the giant knight armors with the swords, they probably have the best deaths in the game, because they literally collapse, their swords breaks, and it's really cool when they die. The werewolf is the boss of the 5th level. I actually was always saying before I played this game, I'm like, why are there so many Castlevania games and there's no werewolf bosses? And when I got to it, I was, oh, there he is! Well, he's in the background, he howls, he jumps, he relies on roll, I think, the traditional roll, dash, and jumping and all that for the speed attacks. He's pretty annoying. If you have the crucifix, you can just make it, do the, and they'll just scatter all around. That actually can drain a lot of bosses of their energy pretty quick. In the altered level 5, which is the water level, which has the merman coming non-stop and the blue skull heads, as well as the crows. Yeah, they're back. The boss is this giant mer-like serpent. It will just try and dives up and down like that, goes around, and then will breathe fire at you. if you have the crucifix and you have the supercharge, you like have to hit it like 2 or 3 times, and it's dead. And after you kill it, the battle keeps going, and then it rises up as a skeleton before collapsing. Now, whenever you reach this area where the water is rising, you have to keep going up and up and up. Now, when you get to the next level, the next section, you'll see water rain spewing out of this thing. I didn't know this at first, because when I first played through it, I found Maria, but I couldn't figure out where Annette was. So when I first beat the game, I got the ending where Maria lives, but Annette sadly dies. I had to go to the library, because after I moved, I didn't have the internet, so I had to go to the library and use their internet to find out where the heck is Annette. When it said it, I was, oh, that spot. Hit the water, and it will cause it to hit the water spewing. It will cause it to drain. Just walk forward. Don't bother going down the platforms. You'll just drop right down to where you have to walk to where she's at. You rescue her. She refills your energy, okay? But if you access this level, you can't fight the werewolf at all. So you actually have to skip the Minotaur and the werewolf to get the best ending. Now after that, you go to the clock tower. Clock tower has the tune beginning. This is the best version of it to me. This is, of course, going up, get the clock gears and all that stuff. The Purple Knights are the worst, are bad in this. They are really annoying. Excuse me. Now, whenever you get to the boss, if you fail to rescue Annette, this skull will touch her and it turns into Carmilla. Basically, she's on that, riding that skull, and the eyes will come out. They'll spin around, they'll shoot fireballs, or they'll just simply fly around the top of the screen and shoot lightning at you, and she'll just try and run into you. But if you do rescue Annette, you fight the Grim Reaper. He's a 2-stage boss fight. When you get his energy halfway down, you enter the second stage. You don't have to beat him, and then his energy refills and beat him again. Stage 1 is he just flies around, and his scythe blades just simply start doing the old spinning around coming at you, but if he touches you, he'll slow you down. Stage 2, the scythe blades will still return, but he'll now jump down with another form and have that thing. He'll slice it at you, he'll jump in the air and come spinning down where you're at. When he does that, the best thing to do is move away from him as quickly as possible, because in order to get some more hits. Now, whenever he's flying around, every time, and the same thing with Carmilla, when you hit them, they move away. So, but be careful, now if they hit you, you start slowing down. Now, the Altar level 4 is pretty much is another underground stage like level 4. Only this one has the Mudman. Now, when you see these boiling pits, you're going to think if you touch them, you're going to die or get hurt or anything. You just slowly sink into them. Just jump to get them out. And whenever you come to that area where there's spikes on the roof, my advice is always wait till you're up to your waist before you jump out. The boss, I got to this guy when we were allowed to bring our game systems at school, so I rented this game. I wanted to show everybody it and everything. It's known as Necromancer, but it looks a lot like Shaft. This boss was the one that was driving me crazy. I didn't finally beat him until October 22nd of this month. Stage 1 is he'll just move around. Every time you hit him, he flies over you. He shoots these energy balls that shoot 2 or more that will cause zombies to no, is it zombies? No, it's skeletons. Skeletons, I forgot, okay? And but that slow moving, but that other fireball, if it hits you, you slow down. Oh, it is Mudman. Okay, Mudman I think is stage 1. Stage 2, because when I got him down, as soon as he rose back up, he has all these tombstones orbiting around him. He'll cast them out, and this is when I think zombies rise. I think. This is the stage that took me forever until October 22nd of this month when I finally beat him. I was so happy that I finally got that guy. I feel really, it's just kind of sad that it took me this long to finally beat him, but that's how hard he was to me. Maybe not to everybody else, but to me. Okay, the final stage is Dracula's Tower. This is the stage where the chicken thing comes back. And this is the stage that features this part where there's these moving platforms that you have to jump. Otherwise, if you fall down, you have to go back to this one area where you have to work your way back up. In other words, that loop area until you finally get it right. Whenever you're on those platforms, there's that invincibility, but there's a knight armor that's coming up. get that invincibility, and all you have to do is just touch him and you get rid of him. Now, when it comes to those platforms that crack up when you step on them, I think the fifth stage is the correct fifth stage of the werewolf is the only stage in the game that has those. Now, when you get to Dracula, this is how I beat him. I always use the axe. My advice is, get him to the far corner on this side of the TV screen, which is those two, which is that one high one, that one low one. Stay on the low one, and every time he appears, just throw the axe. He will just, he just teleports all around, opening up his cave, throwing the traditional 3 fireballs or these 2 giant energy balls. Now, whenever you have 1 hit to go, as soon as he's on the furthest one, hitting with the axe when he turns into that thing. Now, this is pretty tough, even with this strategy that I use. I always just position myself close to him and use the axe to get rid of the fireballs, and then hit him as many times as I can with the whip when he lands. But when he shoots that big energy blast, that's when I use the axe where they circle, because when you do that, you become temporarily invincible and he'll just pass through you. And then just repeat that until you get rid of him. Now, the best stand-in, that's the only one I'm going to talk about, is whenever Richter is holding Annette, and Maria is looking at them, covering her eyes, covering her eyes, but pinking. But she's like pinking through with one of them, that old cliche. The animation on her face is terrible. Well, I don't mind the game, but yeah, I can understand why Castlevania Dracula X got a 2.5 in GamePro. And, okay. How I would have made this game is I would have forgotten the multiple paths. I would have just gone by the rule, if that gap area in the 3rd level, you fall through it, you just lose a life. You still got to get the key, and you still fight the knight. Then when you go to the Minotaur's level, you still got to rescue Maria. But when it comes to that door that you use the key for, I would not bother. I would go by, what I meant to say was, I go by the rule that it's glowing. I would say once you rescue Maria, you don't have the key anymore. You go and fight the Minotaur, you come back, the gate's no longer glowing and you can enter it. And the 3rd level, the altered 4th stage, the altered 4th stage, where you fight Necromancer, I would simply go by the rule that that's the 2nd half of the level. In other words, this would be a big, long level divided up into 2 sections. But the rule would be is once you defeat the Minotaur, this will be a checkpoint even when you die. Defeat Necromancer, you go to stage 5, and then the altered stage 5, I would just make that stage 6 with the sea serpent. Stage 7 would now be the clock tower, and when it comes, but this time instead of going by the rule that you fight Carmilla or the Grim Reaper, I would just go by the rule you fight Carmilla. In Dracula's level, before you fight Dracula, the arena is basically nice and even. First you fight the Grim Reaper, but then there's this big flash, you back at this corner, and that's when you fight Dracula. Yeah, the Grim Reaper, I would have it still as a 2-stage boss fight. And that's how I would have done the game. That way you get to play every level instead of having to skip levels or a boss fight just to get the game's best ending. I mean, I still do like the game, but yeah, it's not the best one. It is rare and it's valuable, so if you see it, definitely get it. I was lucky to find this at a game shop in the late 90s at a reasonable price because it wasn't rare yet. And I didn't just get the game, I got it complete. So I lucked out big time. Well, this is now my Halloween video. 30 years ago, was my last day of trick-or-treating. 30 years ago, I tried to beat Castlevania, Dracula X, and it took me a decade ago to beat it. No, it was 2014 when I beat that game. So over a decade ago. Well, thanks for watching. Happy Halloween, and I hope you get plenty of candy.